Okay, so we were just rolling our heel bones a bit. So let's go ahead and think about the heel bone. The heel bone is not in the center of the foot. This is a very sort of surprising thing to realize. That the heel bone, if you look at the back of the skeleton, whoa! Let's start that again. Let's take a look at the heel bone. So the heel bone, as you can probably see, this one is collapsing a little bit because the elastic has gotten a little loose. But the heel bone, what I want you to realize is that it's not really in the center of the foot. It's actually offset a little bit to the outside. Now, why this would be, I have a few theories, but I'm not going to go into them right now. But just for now, I want you to feel that if I touch the inside of the ankle, the medial malleolus, the bottom of the tibia, and I touch the outside, the bottom of the fibula, and I imagine that talus, right in here, that the center line of the heel, right, if I grip the heel, it's going to be more towards the fibula, more towards the outside. That's going to let a lot of muscles and tendons run through there. But in terms of bony support, it might be a little surprising. So, starting with your left foot, go ahead and put your fingers down to your heel, and I'm just wrapping my thumbs around the top of my foot, and I want to get a sense now of the position of the bone. So I'm resting my heel into the ground, and I'm really picturing the edges of this bone, really exploring that both with my fingertips and with my relation of the heel to the floor. And see if you can feel and really begin to visualize that the heel bone is not dead center in your foot, but it's actually offset a little bit. So it's actually quite interesting to think about the angle of the talar head, right? If I drew a line from my big toe to the very center of the back of my heel bone, that would be pretty close. I'm not actually sure of the angles, but it'd be pretty close to the angle of the talar head. So you sort of get this image of like a little bit of an offset, which is going to start to make more sense as we look at pronation and supination. So feeling the heel bone is the largest bone in the foot. So I'm feeling the edges of it, and then I'm going to start to get a sense of actually how long it is. So if you look at it from the bottom here, you can see that it's significantly longer than any other bone in the body, or any other bone in the foot. Sorry, it's not significantly longer, but it's significantly bigger, right? It's about the same size or length as these rays, but in its mass, it's quite a bit bigger. So the backbones of the foot are called the tarsal bones, and we're going to look at those and how they create this thing we call pronation and supination, but realize the extent of the length. So the front of the heel bone falls just in front of your ankle. So think about that. If you have your foot at a 90-degree angle and you just take your hands down, you draw that line, go to the outside, and then the back of the heel, and I can think, okay, my heel bone is actually like that long, right? I feel it a lot in the back, but it's actually traveling forward quite a distance. So feel the outside and the inside, and feel how the bone center line is a little bit shifted to the outside of the foot, and then feel the length of that foot, or the length of that bone. And I'm just allowing my foot to rock in all different directions. I'm still keeping the heel weighted on the ground, and I'm feeling the different areas and parts of it. and just rocking, rocking, rocking. So then I'll switch feet. I might take a moment to notice. I notice far more ease and actually flexibility. It feels like I could pick something up with the left foot, and the right foot feels like there's not nearly as much movement in the center of the foot here. So I'll just wrap my thumbs over top, fingertips on the heel bone, and then I'll do the same thing. I'll start rocking it side to side and back. So I'm getting a feeling now for the right heel. I'm trying to visualize once again that the heel bone is offset a bit to the outside. So we can think again about that talar head and that angle, and more or less how the back of the heel to the front toe is going to be more or less in that slightly medial running angle, slightly center running angle, you could say, as well. Now, I can feel along the inside as well as the outside to feel the distance and length of that foot. Sorry, that bone, I keep saying that. So if I run my hands down my shin again, just in front of my ankle, that's more or less where the heel bone ends. So get a felt understanding of how big your heel is, and think about all that weight that transitions into it as you stand on the foot. And I'm feeling as much forward as I can. And the heel bone itself is helping to form that arch, so it's going to angle up. So not all of the heel bone is going to touch the ground, which is why we often think of the heel as just being in the back. But I'll explore on the ground and see how many aspects of it I can feel in relation to the floor. If you enjoyed this video, sign up for the InBody Space newsletter and share the link with a friend. You can also find original content on Facebook and Instagram.